what the Bears now have in the draft. I think that the number one pick, number one pick's locked up, right? We kind of feel like, are we at 98% now? 98% where you're like, yeah, I kind of see this going this direction.
Yeah.
If you're at 98% one now, can you afford to go with the 9th pick and actually trade down? Because that has been the option that a lot of people have put out there. You trade down. I've said this, trade down, you go get the center, JPJ, you get a 2nd round pick in there as well. You add more draft capital. But as we're seeing how the draft is lining up, there's some names that are actually going to be there that you may not be able to pass up. I mean, you're talking about Dallas Turner. You're talking about the possibility of maybe Joe Alt falling there, right? We kind of broke that down yesterday. Malik Neighbors may fall there. If Malik Neighbors doesn't fall there, Roma Dunze may fall there. Like, there are some legit names there. Can you risk passing up on those names and moving down to from that 9th pick?
Give me Joe Alt or the best left tackle at this point. I think their defense, I kind of think with Pickens, I think they're going to believe in a lot of the guys they already have on defense. Because really, if you look at the last 2 holes on our squad, it's defensive end and possibly offensive line. And then you're saying, so I got to update the roster. So you're saying that Bates is going to end up being a center, not the guy from the Rams?
That seems like that's what Courtney's saying right now, that Bates is probably the guy. Bates is probably the guy that you end up going with there because of the draft capital you gave up. The fact that you evaluated, remember, Ryan Bates is not a new guy. The Bears tried to sign him 2 years ago. The Bills ended up matching, which means they felt like they had some value with that guy at depth and that they felt like he could be a step-in starter. And they just haven't needed to use him as much as a starter because they've had pretty healthy and pretty good offensive line play over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really speak to any of it because whatever their scouting is going to be their scouting. Whatever we think they're going to do, it might be somebody else. I mean, it could be that Talise Fuaga is the guy. Now I think it just depends on their rating of who's the best player available at 9. Because then, like you said, if you trade back, how is it going to work? You go from 9 to what? Minnesota? Are they going to give you 11th and a 23rd pick? Are you going to trade within a division? Because or you're trying to get a 2nd round pick, and it just depends on who they. At this point, you're either going to draft. I would do I still need a defensive end and an offensive lineman. Period.
I would try, if I'm just being me, right? Because you also have somebody in the room who has a little bit of a relationship with this team. I would try, excuse me, to trade back to 16th probably with Seattle and see if I can't get their 2nd round pick, which is right now. Where's Seattle at? Does Seattle have their 2nd round pick? Oh, Seattle doesn't have their 2nd round pick, actually, because I believe that is going to the Giants. Yeah, that goes to the Giants from Seattle, 47. That's where that gets tough there, right? Because you got to figure out, and this is why the War Room is going to be so much fun. Tune in with us on the War Room. I would say it's going to be tough to get Jackson Powers Johnson past Seattle. So if I'm trading back for a guy like that. Maybe I look at the Saints. Maybe I look at the Colts. You said what?
Who says they're going for him? They just took 2 centers. In my mind, they're going to get a developmental player with that 4th round pick. They're going to get a diamond in the rough. That could be your future center because they've already addressed 2 centers already in free agency.
Yeah, but I think that you've addressed 2 centers in free agency, but realistically, one is a tackle that you hope can play center. And the other one is a center that you're kind of like, at least to me, I look at him and I'm going, hey, listen, I like the fact that you picked up a center in name, and it seems like he can snap the football and block, which is a good thing to do. But like, if I can get a 10-year guy, if I can get the best center in the draft at 13, and I get a 2nd round pick out of that as well, the 2nd pick for the Colts would be 46. 46, you're still getting some really solid players. I think that 46, you could possibly go out and even address that wide receiver position. Maybe take somebody like who'd still be on the board there? Probably like a Troy Franklin, maybe from Oregon, and he comes in as your 4. Maybe a Malachi Corley. You know what I mean? Like there's still some names that are on there that I think really fit in well there.
Well, if you trade, I mean, you could trade down. I don't know if they're going to pick up a bunch of extra picks.
The real question is, while getting those extra picks, can you risk leaving on the table a Roma Dunze, Malik Neighbors, Dallas Turner? Can you risk leaving on the table? I mean, like maybe listen, if you feel like the center's the pick and he's that good of a guy and he's that good of a player, you could take him at 9, and I wouldn't care.
Yeah, but I'm just saying in a sense, if you've already picked up 2 centers practically, something tells me that they're going to pick somebody in the later rounds to address that position. They might get more
Cedric
impact.
Van Pran maybe in the 3rd or the 4th.
Yeah, they might get more impact if they go for at 9. You take Alt, you got a starter, period. But you need that. They might, and who knows how they feel with the 2 guys that they drafted. I mean, signed. And then if you're able to get another defensive end or somebody else in that, they have to go to the third round, right? Yeah, 2 firsts, a third, and 1 fourth. That's all they have.
Yep.
So the 4th to me says maybe a developmental offensive lineman. 3rd to me says it's the best player. It could be a linebacker. It could be somebody we don't even expect. And because we're going to be, I guarantee you're going to be sitting there like, okay, whoever it is we pick.
Well, right. I said that with Waddle today. I don't think there's a name that if we selected somebody at 9, there's not a name on the board that we'd be like, dang it, how could you go there? That makes no sense. Like, listen, if they go Caleb Williams, Dallas Turner, we go great first round. If they go Caleb Williams, Malik Neighbors, we go great first round. If they go Caleb Williams, Jackson Powers Johnson, we go great first round. Like, I'm like, there's not really a name that you look at in the first round and say, I don't think there's anybody that I really feel has high bust factor in this draft. Like, this is a very, very loaded draft.
That's what they all say until they get on the field.
Nah, there's some like you look at last year, and there was some dudes that it was like I'll say who was the young man?
I agree with you, Don Edwards. I agree that the lineman is for O-line depth. I'm just saying that for where they are at 9, if they trade down. Now, there's mock draft showing that your boy Jackson Powers Jr. might go to 26. So, let's just say hypothetically they trade with Minnesota. All right, Minnesota moves up to 9. They get their quarterback. We got our 2 picks. You could take Alt and Jackson Powers.
Here's the part that's gonna suck. Here's the part that's gonna suck, and we know it's gonna happen. Freaking New York's gonna F it up. New York's gonna take Joe Alt. New York's the team that's gonna be like, well, let's build this offensive lineup. Who's playing quarterback? Like, I get it. I guess I'm not gonna be mad at them for that. Like, if you take your left tackle of the future, you took what you thought maybe is your center of the future last year, and John Michael Schmitz. Yeah. I don't think that you're mad at that, because then you go, all right, now let's just throw a quarterback in there and hope he doesn't die. But New York is probably the team that you look at and go, yeah, I can see them throwing this all off and taking Joe Alt. And then I think if Alt's off the board, I would probably think that Tennessee goes Olu Fashanu right after that. Well, because I'll say this, Joe Alt isn't making it past Tennessee. I do want to tell you guys all about Underdog Fantasy. I want to tell you about the easiest way to get in on the NFL action right now. It's Underdog Fantasy. I'm sorry, NBA action. It's Underdog Fantasy in their pick'em game. All you got to do is pick higher or lower on your favorite or least favorite players' stats, and you can win up to 20 times your money. If you sign up now with the promo code TWCB, you'll double your first deposit up to $100 in bonus bets. That is $100 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit of $10 or more. Deposit $100 and you get a free $100 with their slick mobile app and user-friendly website. You'll have no problem jumping in and drafting your team. They also have their pick'em games. Now, these are you can win up to 100 times your money in a single night. Pick higher or lower on your favorite player stats to win big. You have the rivals option as well, which puts two players against each other, and you can turn on the pick'em insurance, which is honestly my favorite thing, because if you do not trust a pick, if you do not trust Kobe White to score over 20 versus the Houston Rockets, this gives you a little bit of wiggle room if you're not as confident in an entry. So once again, sign up now with the promo code TWCB and get your first deposit doubled up by $100 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit of $10 more. $100 with your first deposit of $10 more on Underdog Fantasy.
Well, yeah, they like according to Tankathon, they say Jaden to 2, Drake made 3 to the Pats. Marvin Harrison is a Cardinals, Malik Neighbors to the Chargers.
Probably
And
early. That
then
makes sense.
and then you got
They
JJ
have no
McCarthy going
receivers left, Joel. There's no
right,
wide receivers left on that team.
right. But I don't I think Arizona trades down. And then you got they want JJ McCarthy at 6 to New York, which then Joe Alt to Tennessee at 7.
Yeah, I don't think there's any shot we get Joe Alt. And then you kind of go, okay, do we want the second best left tackle in the draft? Or do we want, which listen, second best left tackle in the draft could still be a 10-year starter, could still be a elite player. When I look at Olu Fashanu's tape,
New York sucks.
yeah. When I look at Olu Fashanu's tape, I will say this. Looks like a little bit bigger version of Braxton. I see a lot of bull rushes getting to him.
See, like you got, even then they kind of have Jackson Powers Johnson around 21. And you see people are sleeping on like JC Latham. We don't know where their scouting is on some of these guys, because
I think the thing is, we know who the Bears have like sent the house for. That's the thing. And the Bears have sent the house to 2 places, Oregon and Caleb.
Yeah, that's true.
Not USC, just Caleb. Not even the whole USC.
Yeah,
team.
but that's
Caleb.
Sometimes that smoke screen too, right? You know, but
not when Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus and all of them are going. That's not smoke screen. That is, we believe in somebody there.
I stand
everybody
corrected.
get in the van.
I stand corrected. Of course, they're going to have that attention there, but that doesn't mean that they don't have other guys flurried hiding everywhere else looking at other players.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at. Of course, they're going to look at those guys, because if they are there, they would like to take them. However, they've got other guys looking around for sure, and they're looking. I would love to see a diamond in the rough come out of this draft where they take the next Olin Kreutz, who's in the 3rd round or the 4th round, because they got him. You know, that's what I'd love to see.
I wouldn't be mad at that. I think that I don't care as much about the versatility thing, right? Like that's kind of the conversation that continues to come up around why the Bears want to take this type of player versus this type of player.
Yeah.
Cedric Van Pran's a center. That's all he is. That's all he's going to be. He's going to snap footballs. He's going to block the guy in front of him. He's a center. He's going to need some development. He's a little bit more raw. You're going to have to kind of mold him along, but he is a center. That's all it is. That's all it's going to be.
And that's fine. I need you to just be good at your job.
That to me tells me that's not a bad player for what you want. And you know what it is? It's how I felt about Darnell Wright last year. As I broke down their tape, I said Paris Johnson is interesting because he can play left tackle and right tackle at an efficient rate. He's a guy that you can swap around. You can put him on the interior. You can move him all over the place. Who was the other one? Was it was Terrence Johnson, and then there was a guy that was just the left tackle. I can't think of his name. It was Darnell something too, wasn't it? I can't think of his name, but he ended up getting drafted a lot later. And he was a left tackle. I was like, this kid can only play left tackle. But when I looked at Darnell Wright, I was like, that's a monster over there.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
That is a absolute beast of a guy. I think he fits the mentality. And all he does, I don't want to see him on the left side. I want to see him at center. I want to see him on the guard position. He's a right tackle. I'm fine with that. I would rather see a player do that, because guess what? That means that he is locked in on his craft.
Mhm.
He has there's no time where we're gonna look at Darnell Wright and go, so what about left? How do you feel about left? No, I'm not doing
No,
that.
center. This is center. That's all that
You know what I mean?
take the
So it's
ball.
like
I hate it.
I'm okay with Van Pran being that kind of guy. I think the Bears are okay with Van Pran being that kind of guy. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that. I would question. I'll say this. This is my only question. Do you go development at wide receiver or do you take a wide receiver? You've only got 4 picks really to work with here. Now, again, Ryan
You're
Poles can trade future picks, get back into the draft, right? He's got
you
a future second next
no,
year
pick
from the
yeah.
Panthers. You can get yourself back. There's a bunch of things that you can do, right?
But how do we know that he believes in Tyler Scott and Valus and that because they have, they have Keenan, you know, 10, 10, 10, 10,
10 10 10 in the chat. You know
Oh,
what I
we can,
love about the one thing I will say I love about the Patreon side is you can't take all of the live numbers just yet as facts, but the amount of the amount of you guys that have supported and paid to come watch the show, when I tell you it correlates perfectly with the number of views that we end up with on this show. Like, yeah, we got 30,000. We'd have videos that do 10, 12, 15,000, right? It's like, what happened to the other 15,000 people? Over here, dog, 71 people as members, 71 views. I love it. I love it, dog, because you guys, that means you guys really care about the content that you're getting. And so I love the fact that you guys have come over here and support chat. Lord Crimson is going to get there. It's absolutely going to get there. I love that Don's doing it. He's like reading the alarm. Maybe we do need to start doing it in increments of 10. 10 in the chat.
just last week we had over 1,000 people. God dang YouTube.
10 in the chat. YouTube's a bet.
Oh, what some jerks.
Oh,
Jeez.
dog. Y'all see, we changed the intro. Hey, listen, we're trying everything. We are still hitting up YouTube. We are still reaching out to people over there. I tried contacting like their support, you dig? Where it's just literally like contact at youtube.com. I don't even know if that's a real thing.
Well, I would think based off the amount of subscribers we have, they should be able to revisit this. You can't do 90 days and
Dog,
it's a big channel.
you know what the latest one was? This case has been so I reached out again because right, I was like, maybe it's the shorts, maybe it's some shorts. We got some videos, maybe that's where we reuse content. Took it down, took all the shorts down to have any video that didn't have something to do with us, even though YouTube allowed the shorts to go up there. But did that, reached back out to the appeal process, and they said, this case has already been opened and closed. There's nothing else we can do. Have a great day.
You know what? Goodbye, YouTube. Hello, Patreon.
10 in the chat.
10 in the chat.
10 in the chat.
Ding, ding, ding.
Nah, I love y'all, man. I love all you guys that have come over here and showed love. Listen, getting back on the Bears, like, to me, it's very tough. It's very tough for me to see them. And I know, like, the thought process is Ryan Poles is always traded back. Ryan Poles is always, it is his MO to this point.
Well, I think it's just his board and identifying the talent that he needs. He's hit on more of his picks than he's missed. And I'm very encouraged by that. That's all I can say when it comes to this draft. Yeah, he's got 4 picks left, but I bet you he's going to make it worth something, especially that high. I mean, 2 1s and a 3. You should get something out of this. Now,
listen, if you sold me on all he does is take the picks, and our draft ends up,
thanks, Don.
Caleb Williams, Malik Neighbors, if he falls, or maybe Roma Dunze, and Cedric Van Pran, and your first 3 picks. Well, because here's the thing, I don't want the second. I don't want the second best offensive lineman. I think that there's a gap between Olufashanu and between Joe Alt and Olufashanu.
I don't know, man. That's just like us getting the right that we have. We like right? We like right.
But the difference is here when you watch Olufashanu's tape, Yes, Olufashano, very strong, a guy that he deals with a lot of the moves very well when people are trying to spin off of him and do a lot of that stuff. But at least just from what I've seen, and I haven't been able to sit down with a actual offensive line guru yet to break it down and have them break down everything I'm seeing. At least from what I've seen, when they bull rush, I mean, like,
Well,
I got that.
You know, he was Caleb's teammate in high school, right?
Yeah.
Like there's
maybe there's a relationship there. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm just saying the bull rush. What do we say every week? The bull rush.
But Pat, what I'm saying is it may not be all Orfashano. It might be somebody. It could be that it's late too. Nobody saw Wright last year. It was the other guy, Paris Johnson, right?
It was Karan. I saw it.
Okay, well, the great Swami that you are, that's great. The point is
Swami.
Yeah, Pat, you are Pat.
No, but I think even that, right? We're saying Latu. I think Dallas Turner could be there. Turner is
no. I'm not saying Latu. I'm saying JC Latham. It could be a lineman.
Oh, you saying JC Latham? I thought you were saying Latu.
No, not Latu. No, I don't trust fusion necks and all that. I don't trust that. No, that scares me to death. I'm not putting. See, this is the other thing.
With a fusion neck.
And his arm fell off, and he's been dead. This is my only issue.
Was fine, but that arm was gone.
My issue is that this is the only thing. You take a center at that position at that price point. Remember, this is still fine. This is still economics. He will then reset the entire market for centers because his cap. He's going to come in at a certain cap number, and then if he does do well, he's going to reset that. So they're going to think about that type of stuff. So yeah. I would think
I've changed the camera. Oh, Joe,
change the camera. Change the camera. That's stupid.
Well, don't worry about that. Y'all stay out of here. That's what happens on the page.
Hey, Pat, you got a real one, dog.
That's what's hilarious, dog. And that's what's hilarious.
I trust their scouting. I believe in whoever they end up getting. I'm going to be like, bet, because you've proven us right or wrong at least 2 years in a row. No one expected. I wasn't excited per se. I mean, I did like that we got Brisker. I did, because I was like, I want a safety. And then when he got the other cornerback, it's like, okay. And then when we got Wright, it's like, all right. And it's a smart move. I think the polls will make these smart moves. So I'm gonna roll with that.
No, yeah, I agree. I think that this is a very good opportunity for the Chicago Bears to go out and make some moves. Listen. If you're getting sold on Caleb Williams from pro days, stop.
What you mean, Lord Crimson? What are you talking about? Was the defense good at the end of the season? Yes, it was. It was good, and I think it's going to improve with better safety play. And I think it's improved because hopefully they've grown from within in terms of Dexter. And maybe we'll see what Pickens does.
I think when you think about the 1 week that they weren't good, which is probably the Green Bay Packers week, you also have to take into account the fact that your best corner wasn't on the field, a corner that literally turns the tide of can you throw to your best option or not. Like you not having Jalen Johnson out there was a big blow to that defense. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Like I think that's the biggest thing at the end of the season, that because what they beat us at the end of the season, was it 20-16 or something like that? What was the final game? Yeah, we didn't get killed in that one, did we? We looked horrible. The offense looked horrible.
They just stagnant. They played scared. It was like, stop with all that scared nonsense. I don't forget that game in. I forgot that site that you gave me for that.
That game ended 17-9.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah. I'm not tripping on that. And by the way, just in case, was the end of the season defense good? 17 points.
Back in the day,
you gotta be able to put up more than 17 points.
Back in the day, if you gave the Bears 10 or 17 and all you needed to score was 2 or 3 touchdowns, that's a wrap.
Yeah.
Now it's like hurting. I gotta get out.
It was ugly. It was ugly that last week. But listen, let's hope we keep adding on to it. I think that there's a lot of options you can go. If Dallas Turner falls, get in on that. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like that's tough to pass up.
I
to
just
me.
think that they're gonna believe, but they're gonna believe in their players. Let's just say that Pickens does elevate himself. We don't know.
Yep. I
And
mean,
so,
listen, Pickens was a third. That's a position you expect to make an impact.
I mean, he could. He could. We don't know yet. So they might be believing in those guys, which is it could be interesting. Watch they end up with another linebacker and replace Sanborn because they got the
We
best.
not doing that. We keeping Big Jack around here.
I don't know. That
I'm
dude from
rocking.
North
I'm rocking with
Carolina.
Jack.
Hey, that dude from North Carolina was like looked like what's that
Hey,
dude
listen.
from Carolina back in the day?
I'm rocking with Jack because Jack know where to be. Jack sit there
I'm
versus
just saying.
the best.
Hypothetically.
Hey, listen, versus the best players in the NFL, and you just be like, why was he there so fast? You know what I
Sanborn,
mean?
no, Sanborn is a sure
Hey,
tackler. I like
Sanborn, dog.
I like him.
Edmonds,
Dog.
dog. Edwards, he's a dog.
Dog. Big
That's
dog.
That's one of my favorite clips ever. What it was like Edwards. Yeah, we got it was the high school dude. He's like, I'm not gonna lie, we thought we had him in the first half, but or I thought they had us in the first half, but you know, we got Edwards, dog. Sanborn, he's a dog. We got Sweat on.